Today on OCD Space, we are talking about a strategy that you might be using, and it's called testing it out. We're going to talk about how this strategy seems like it's going to get you out of OCD, but it actually gets you deeper into OCD, as a lot of OCD tricks do. Now, if you all are liking these videos and you have not yet liked and subscribed, please do so. I'm loving seeing the numbers grow and the more people that are getting introduced to I-CBT concepts. It is great to see all the people talking about how much this awesome treatment is helping. Now, something else I'll also just share is if you are a therapist or a clinician watching this, I do have a new training that I've designed for therapists to administer I-CBT. And so you can find that at www.icbttrainingonline.com. And I'll put that link in the description. So anyway, let's get to the topic at hand. We're going to be talking about testing it out. I will see you in a minute. So today we're going to be talking about testing it out. And testing it out is a behavior, and it's also kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy. And what I mean by that is you have a worry, and I'm going to throw out a few examples of worries you might have. So let's just say one of your worries is, what if I'm a bad person because I have bad thoughts? And what if I like having bad thoughts and I'm just, deep down a really bad person and I'm just, hiding that from everybody, hiding it from myself? That's a typical kind of OCD doubt. Another one might be, what if I never stop worrying? What if, I have OCD and I'm able to doubt and worry about things endlessly, and this is never going to go away? It's always going to be some new doubt, some new worry. That would be another example of something you might be concerned about. Another thing would be sexuality. You might be worried about, am I the sexuality I've assumed myself to be? What if I'm not? Maybe I'm attracted to a different group of people and I never knew that before. And oh my gosh, this might uproot my entire life and everything I've thought about myself. That would be another typical, OCD worry, doubt, obsession. So, when you're having one of these worries, what you're going to do is have a very strong motivation to make that worry go away, to resolve it. Now, one of the plans that a lot of people with OCD come up with is to test yourself. And we want to bring this to light. We want to recognize this as a common OCD compulsive strategy. And then we want to start to notice what a problem this strategy actually is, and how even though you want it to try to resolve something, what it actually does is get you deeper and deeper and deeper into your obsession. It is very insidious that way. So let's take a look at how this works. So let's just say you're worried about, am I the sort of person who has bad thoughts, and what do my bad thoughts say about me? And I'm immoral, impure, some sort of just very bad, monstrous type person deep down. So you're worried about this. Let me figure out how to find out if this is true or not. Testing it out in this situation is going to be, let me put the thought in my head on purpose. Let me think of this, image that is just so disturbing, and let me see if I'm actually disturbed by it. Let me think of something like an image of Satan or some sort of sacrilegious word or phrase. Let me just put that into my mind on purpose and let me find out what happens. So that's a very typical testing situation. You might also do this with that second obsession I discussed, where you're worried about, am I ever going to get over this? You might just, actually purposefully put doubts in your mind, purposefully think obsessional thoughts, purposefully think about your obsessional theme. Let me see what happens when I do it. Maybe if I'm over this, and maybe if I'm getting better, I'll have no response to this thought or image or whatever it might be. And then, that third example of, sexuality, let me go online and look at images. Let me look at people that are scantily clad or naked, of the opposite sex or whoever it might be that you're trying to test out. Let me see what my reaction's going to be. So On the surface, seems reasonable. Let's try, let's test myself out. This seems like a good strategy. Let's look at what actually happens. And there's going to be two things that happen with testing that are going to be not good for you and are going to get you further into doubt. The number one thing that's going to happen is you're going to basically be going down a rabbit hole here, because the problem is that you don't have a certain level of foundational trust in the information you need to grapple with these issues, right? So you're at such a massive disadvantage in these areas that this is only going to go one way, and it's going to go down that rabbit hole of OCD, where you are doubting the information you have, you're doubting any evidence that might, dismiss this OCD doubt. That is all not trusted. Anything that supports the OCD doubt gets a lot of credence, and you're going to come out the other end of this very much believing your OCD doubt is true. And we want to recognize that outcome from this behavior, that despite your motivation to have this be helpful, it is definitely not going to be helpful, and you're going to end up convinced of what you are worried about. Negative outcome number two, and here's the really insidious part of testing it out. OCD is going to make you ask yourself why you did this behavior in the first place, right? So think about the things you're testing out. You are purposely putting an image in your mind of something unsavory to test yourself. You are purposely going online and looking at certain images to test yourself. You're purposely putting a doubt in your mind to test yourself. OCD is going to say, why did you do that? What's wrong with you, right? And so this is the second negative consequence of why would you even try to put an image of Satan in your mind? You must really want that image in your mind. You must have done this on purpose. This is not a compulsion. You are actually scheming, and you're finding any excuse to do this behavior that you really claim you don't want to do. You actually really do want to do it. This is not checking. This is not testing. You're doing this to have these thoughts because you're such a bad person, right? And so we want to recognize that this is like reimagining history when OCD does this. Retelling history. Your original motivation was absolutely with good intention. You wanted to stop worrying about this. You want to get out of this obsession. You want to be able to trust again that you're a good person, or that you're the identity that you are, and all of those things. You're looking to feel that way again. And that is why you did the checking and the testing behavior, not because you really wanted this bad image in your mind. But OCD is retelling history after the fact and saying you must have wanted this. That's why you did this testing behavior. So that's testing behavior, testing it out in a nutshell. It's an OCD trick. It's something you will explore in I-CBT treatment if this is something that you're doing. And you're going to work on recognizing that this behavior doesn't ever end out the way you hope it will. And we at some point want to stop doing this. And then we also want to recognize that there's a reason why you're checking and you're testing, and it's actually a good intention there. And that's why you're doing these things. So we want to, develop that trust. And that's what you're going to do in treatment, is slowly build on trust to the point where you actually just trust you're a good person, and you have absolutely no interest in testing it out anymore, because it's something that is there and you know it again. So anyway, I hope that this was a helpful video. Watch out for this testing it out behavior. And until next time, guys, trust yourselves. Take care.